Hello, WordNerds! Welcome to the live chat. Today we are talking about Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Aveyard?
Aveyard?
Something Yard.
Is it Aveyard?
Yeah, that's what I say.
Miss Yard.
There will be lots and lots of spoilers for Red Queen. No spoilers for any books or novellas that go along with it. Just Red Queen. I read this book this week, so I'm really excited to talk about it. But let's start with ratings for it. Farthest on my left is Erin.
Out of 5, I would probably say 4. I enjoyed it. It was original. I wasn't expecting much because I thought it was going to be just kind of like a dystopian thing, but I liked the idea of it. So, yeah, 4 out of 5.
Emma?
I checked and I gave it 4 stars when I read it on Goodreads, and I stand by that because I thought it was a fun book. I didn't think it was like anything like really new, or like it was like a lot of other fantasy and almost a little bit of dystopian in there together, but it was really fun and I enjoyed it. So.
Kelly?
So I'm looking at my Goodreads, and I have a digital arc of this, which makes sense because I read this in August of 2014. So this was a while ago. So I gave it 5 stars at the time. I'll probably call it a 4.5 stars because I'm having trouble remembering any plot points. I remember the general concept of the world building and sort of the main character and her family because I've reread the first chapter, but that's all I got. So I'll call it 4.5. Yeah. I really liked it, I think.
Goodreads, Kelly says you really liked it. I think I'm also going to give it a 4, maybe leaning towards 4.5. Probably, I mean, the writing was good, but the plot, like, really drew me in. So much so that, like, I've been in a reading slump. It's been hard for me to, like, sit down and get through a book the last few weeks. But I was able to, like, sit down and crank through this one in just a couple of sittings. So it was a lot of fun. I think switching gears, I think I may have gotten spoiled at some point about the big twist at the end.
Can someone remind me what the big twist at the end was?
The big twist being that Maven is a bad guy.
He's working with the grade.
Yeah. And Cal is the good guy.
I think I told you.
I think you did.
It was the Alfest we were talking about.
There's the Alfest. I was like, just tell me.
Yeah, you're like, I don't care. You can spoil it. Yeah, I think I remember telling you. Yeah.
Okay. Because like as I was reading, I was like, I think I know that one of these guys is bad.
I'm surprised that it like left your mind enough that you're like, I think. No, I got spoiled. Because I don't know, like some books I really care about whether or not I get spoiled. And some books I don't care so much, and that was one of them I didn't really care if I got spoiled or not. And so I actually remember, because I was wondering about, I don't even remember why I did this, but I looked up the second book on Goodreads, which it wasn't out yet when I read the first one. But I looked it up, and a bunch of people were like, oh, Maven! And so I knew, and I was like, oh, cool. So, like, it was coming, but it was still enjoyable. So.
Yeah. I think I didn't realize, I definitely didn't remember that there were 2 brothers. So it's like, I know one of these guys is bad, and I know it was a big twist, so it's probably the one that you don't think is the bad guy.
I think that is a good twist, even though I already think it's a good one, yeah.
And it's one that's, like, believable to me that she wouldn't see coming.
Yeah, it's really well done.
Yeah, I found it especially intriguing. Just like what really pulled me in, I think, was the kind of trickery she had to go through, like tricking people into thinking that she was someone she wasn't, and that she had this different colored blood, and like the elaborate lengths she had to go to make sure she didn't bleed. Because man, it's all up if that happens, right? Yeah. So that was just kept you on edge constantly, pretty much, especially when she was fighting and stuff.
Yeah. And I think in general, that's just like the kind of story I like someone who has to like be a part of a society that they're not part of, and they have to pretend to be something. Like I really enjoy
Totally. I really like
everyone. I like those kinds of stories.
Same. I really like court politics type stuff, and that was
a lot of that
style court politics. So very good.
Yeah.
And they were well done. So
yeah, there were. This was a lot more of a dystopian than I was expecting. For some reason, I thought it was like very fantasy with a little bit of dystopian. So I was kind of surprised by that. And there were like several different parts that reminded me a lot of Shatter Me. Like the suit she was in, like it was a purple suit, and Shatter Me was in a purple suit.
Yeah.
That was like retardant.
I think both books have a little bit of an X-Men inspiration. So. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's funny because there's no spoilers for the second book. I'm the only one of us, I think, who's read it. But it increases, the X-Men increases like tenfold in the second book. Like it was
because they've got to be going through and finding all those people with all the powers, right?
Yeah. So it's just very much that vibe through the whole thing.
I don't hold it against it though, because it feels like there's a lot of pretty much every superpower thing ever is an X-Men ripoff of like where everyone has a different superpower.
Well, because it's going to naturally follow. Like if everyone has a different superpower, it's going to naturally fall into that pattern of then like figuring out superpowers and putting them into groups and finding the other people's superpowers. So it's going to be that. But for me, it was like some of the same details, like down to smaller things. That was very similar. So
that's interesting. I haven't actually seen X-Men. So
what?
I saw the Wolverine Origins movie.
The first two X-Men the worst.
No. Yeah. You have to watch the original movies. Don't go on
the dialogue, and I was like, no, thank you.
First two X-Men. So good. I love those.
Watch the first one.
Still my favorite Marvel movies.
Yeah, so good. Classic. But yeah, I will say that like I definitely liked the first book better than the second book. Like I thought Red Queen was really strong, and then Glass Sword not as much. Yeah. So I think she'll finish really strong with the. Is there going to be a third book? Is that the last one?
There's a third.
I think so.
It's the last one.
So I think the third one will be really strong again. Is what I suspect will happen.
Yeah, I was reading an interview with her today, where it was talking about whether she plots, like people always ask the Lost creators, like, did you know how the series was going to end when you started?
Clearly the Lost creators didn't.
Yeah. And she was talking about how, like, she did not really have any clue until she was, like, halfway through the second book what, like, the actual big finale end was going to be, which I thought was really interesting because I haven't heard that too often.
No, me neither. I feel like the lack of plotting did show a little bit in the second book. Personally, that's my opinion. But like, I still enjoyed it, but it wasn't as tight and self-contained as Red Queen was. It felt like a book that's going to bridge the gap between two really good books. So,
which is the case for a lot of second
books. A lot of trilogies in general, for sure. And like, it's still a good read, and you still have to read it to get to the third book.
Oh yeah, I'm still really excited to read book 2.
Yeah, it's still a good book.
Yeah. I really liked how all of the characters were, like, terrible people in their own ways. Like, there was no character who I felt was totally, you're okay. It was like even her sister is kind of, like, angry and brooding in the middle when you see her again. I was like, I like this. I could get on board with it. Like how I feel like they're building up for a Cal relationship, but he's still, like, not a perfect person. It's not like, your brother's the bad guy, and now I've realized you're wonderful. But you still don't want to change anything.
Looks like we've got some comments.
Yeah, we do. Do you want to read those?
Sure. Lauren Nicole said that she said there are going to be 4 books.
4 books, really?
Is that including the novella, though?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I'll Google it now.
So yeah, if there are 4 books, then I'm going to hold off rereading the first book.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to read all series within the span of 1 year from start to finish. So if there are 4 books, then I'm waiting. Ryan Scott. Oh, Ryan. Hello, WordNerds. I read Red Queen in December, and I'm finally reading Cruel Crown, the collection of 2 novellas now. Have any of you read that one? It's okay for me so far.
Haven't read
She's
them.
also very excited that the actual comments are working, which I am also.
Yes!
I think the novellas are about like how the whole division happened, I think, or something. I think it's supposed to be like in the history of the world.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. I haven't read them though.
Goodreads says there's going to be 4 books, not including novellas.
Really?
Yeah. So now I'm very curious.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm sad now. I wanted to read.
And the covers. I'm excited to see more covers.
Yes, I love these ones so much.
They're beautiful.
I showed this cover to Jared the first time I was ever telling him about the kind of covers that I would love to have for my own books. I was like, see this? The blood and the shiny and the happy. That's what I want.
Well, I remember the whole reason that I spoiled you on this book is because I was like, this is something you should use as a comp title.
Yeah. I should use it as a comp title.
Because you were like, I don't know what to use as comp titles for the one I'm working on. I was like, oh, Red Queen.
Got this.
Yes.
I lost my tab.
Oh no.
Laura Nicole made her friend read the book and made her think that Maven was such a sweetheart she hated me when she read the twist.
Oh no. That would be such an
betrayed.
awful twist if you didn't see it coming.
No.
I can't imagine.
It was still awful. I kind of saw it coming, but it was still like, I hate life. It's devastating.
Yeah. It's like,
I liked you. I wanted to
trusted
like
you. She trusted you.
I do know that I've noticed a lot of people in reviews and things talking about how they hope it'll turn out he's not really bad, which I don't think is that likely.
There seems like a really long con.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read the second book, and yeah.
Yeah, it seems pretty clear to me that he's screwed up.
He's pretty.
Some people just really want to love him.
He's a pretty crappy guy.
So, yeah. Some people really want to love him.
It's so annoying.
I love him.
I mean, like, there's certain.
I love him for what he is.
I love him as a character.
But you don't love him. Yeah, you don't want him to be like the hero at the end and marry her. Stuff like Shatter Me, where I'm like, end of book 2 or whatever, I'm like rooting for them to be together because there's like so much depth to him. But with Maven, I'm just like, no.
Yes, I have seen him compared a lot to the Darkling in Shadow and Bone and Warner in Shatter Me. Those seem to be the things people compare Maven to.
The Darkling was pretty solidly bad.
Yeah. Well,
Whereas
Maven's kind of
Warren's
just following.
Maven is Maven is too.
Yeah.
Whereas
He's the Kylo Ren of that world.
Yeah.
Angry.
Yeah.
there's nothing sexy about Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
He's just this whiny dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Enough said.
I noticed that the one update that I posted while I was reading this book on Goodreads was at one point I was like, wow, Mare has 3 guys in love with her. How nice.
How nice for her.
And because until I saw that status update when I was looking at it this morning, I'd forgotten that there was also like the best friend character. Because I was like, oh, the 2 princesses, and I was like, oh yeah, there was a 3rd guy, wasn't there?
Kylorn. Kylorn?
Yeah.
Kylorn?
Yeah, something like
Kylorn?
that.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that he'll be bigger, like more of a love triangle-y kind of person in the future books. I'm getting that.
Seems like
vibe.
he'll be a Gale kind of character.
Yeah.
He's either gonna do something. He'll either do something she can't forgive or die. Because he seems a little too angry about it.
Yeah, he's very destructive.
Yes.
It's one of those things where I was a little like, okay, do we have to have 3 guys in love with you? Can it just be like, isn't it triangle enough? It's like the Sookie Stackhouse books where I'm like, this is getting ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, it gets to a point where it's like literally every guy she encounters other than her siblings are in love with her. Like,
pretty much.
why are there no just guy friends? Other than the old guy, I guess he's not in love with her.
The
But...
guard.
Or guys that are dating
liked him
someone
a
else
lot.
or something, you know?
Yeah. I hope he's
Guys that like your friend.
I wish we could have
single.
kept her guard around.
Yeah.
I liked him. I was almost rooting for them a little bit. It's like, he's nice. He's not throwing himself at you. He doesn't seem evil. You keep your secret. What's the problem? The one thing. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's the type of thing that it always seems to me like you don't have that much time for romance or to even like worry about romance. I'm like, you're in a pretty serious situation.
Yeah,
so
no
you
kidding.
should concentrate on this.
That was actually something that I had noted down was that even like the kissing scenes and stuff, there wasn't much of anything. Like there wasn't a lot to go on romance-wise.
Yeah.
So,
But I felt like
interested
that
to
was
see if there's
appropriate.
more kisses. Oh yeah, for sure.
Like if there had been a lot going on, I would have been like, okay. Like it's the book.
3-page kissing. What?
Well, it's just like you're gonna have to take a break in all the craziness to like act. It was like, what's that one book we read for the WordNerds book club where there's like all this crazy stuff going down, and then they're like, let's make out. I can't remember which one it was.
Was it Shatter Me? Because I feel like
Shatter
that's what Shatter Me was.
No, it was like they were on stage.
Oh,
They were
the
on
bone
stage and there was an
season.
explosion.
The bone
Oh,
season.
Bone Season, yeah. You're right.
And then they were like, let's have sex in the middle of like explosions and people murdering other people. And I was like, what's happening right now? Why are we pausing for this? So I feel like it would have been kind of inappropriate to just like crowbar things in like that.
Yeah. But I felt like this was the kind of book that I could have seen crowbarring things in. So I was pretty impressed that it wasn't forced in there.
Yeah, true. It always reminds me of another book that does that is The Evolution of Mara Dyer. Like it's this really intense read, and then there's this like, we're making out now. I'm like, wait, what?
There's no
time. What's happening?
Teenagers, hormones come first.
What?
It's like is it the third Pirates of the Caribbean movie where they like get married in the middle of a battle and you're like, there's no time for this.
What's wrong with you guys?
Does it matter that much, really?
Like they're just like, okay, hold on, guys. We're just pausing everything. Stop.
We
stop
cannot get through this movie.
We just have to make out. Okay, it's really important.
There was one note that I took really, really big, and I cared so passionately about it that I texted it to Emma. There was a lot of sneering in this book.
Oh,
I counted
yes.
20 sneers, at least, when I started counting them. There was so much.
It's so funny because I read it such a long time ago, but as soon as you said that, I was like, yes. For some reason, that's something I remember.
Yeah.
There was a lot of the, like, silver bloods or whatever sneering at people all the time.
And then Mare sneered, and Cal sneered, and Maven sneered, and Everett sneered, and everyone sneered because they all hated each other. And you learn as a way to show your disgust.
And you're like, this word has lost all its meaning. I don't even know
Yeah,
what it
it was used as like a verb. It was used as like a dialogue tag.
Was it really?
Yeah, there was one. She's like, "You should just go hit yourself in the face." I sneered. I don't
guess
think
that's not as bad as
possible.
That was also a great piece of dialogue there. I think you should use that in one of your books.
Well, what popped into my head first, I was like, I shouldn't say that online. So I had to like edit it a little.
It's funny because that's something like if that type of thing really drives me nuts about the writing craft in particular. If they're like chuckling dialogue, or sneering isn't as bad.
Sneering, you can almost picture like.
You can almost picture something.
Hey, you're the worst. That was a really good sneer, right?
For a second, my internet froze you in that expression. It's like the best thing ever.
Yes.
Should have screenshotted that crap next time.
I'm sure you could find one if you went back through the archives.
True. One of you sneering? I don't know. Like you sneer as often as you think you do.
Yeah. No. Sneering is hard. I'm just not sure if I could do it effectively.
You're more of a
Only person.
not a sneerer.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
more of a what?
A smirker. She smirks.
Hey, everyone knows that hot YA guys are always either sneering or what's the other thing?
Smirking.
Sneering or smirking. Isn't there one more thing?
At least that's what Draco Malfoy is always doing in the Draco and Jason.
Sneering, smirking,
or
cocking
like
an eyebrow.
cocked an eyebrow with that lopsided
Megan also does
charm.
that.
I do. I can do that really well.
Megan is a YA male hero.
Oh,
I'm a
Rude
favorite
YA
male
hero.
protagonist. Yeah, I'll take it.
You're gonna have to break that news to your husband. Sorry, I'm actually a
Sorry, Jared.
bad boy.
I'm a bad boy. What?
He'll be like, "You're forbidden from speaking to the WordNerds anymore." This is what happened.
No, he'd probably just be like, okay. Cool.
Just go with it.
Yeah.
Oh,
One of the characters that I really, really liked, and I hope we get to see more of, is Evangeline. I feel like she has room for a lot of complexity.
Is she
She's
the fiance?
the metal one. She's really mean.
right. Yeah, I like her.
She's Cal's fiance, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like her.
Was.
Because now he's kind of Spanish.
I thought she was done very well. Like, she was like more
Yeah.
complex than just the mean girl. I liked her.
Mhm. And I was like so pissed at Mare when I thought like she had killed Evangeline's brother. I was like, you know how much that hurts. Why would you do that to someone? So I would really like to see more of her. As a bad guy, as a good guy. I'd love to see them become besties or, you know, lovers. Or
try to
either
get
one.
Whatever.
I can get.
Any of those things.
I would like to see her just abandon all the men and marry Evangeline.
Yes!
That would be the perfect ending.
Yeah, they would rule with
I
an
ship
iron
it.
fist. Like, they would get stuff done.
Oh my gosh. Twin queens. Okay.
Yeah.
My next book. Seriously, I'm writing that down. Nobody else steal that.
The one I'm working on now has
Sure,
two
someone's got it.
kings, but
Who, what now?
so
Who
the
has
book
two
I'm working
kings?
on now has two kings, but I haven't done one with two queens yet.
But are they like together? Kings?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Did you like them together?
Two kings in the book.
I don't know. You never know. This means together. I'm smushing the kings together.
Smush.
Oh, dear. Smush. Do they love each other? I want to read that book. That sounds good.
I have to write it.
That is step one, yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Well,
It's
I'm
necessary.
world building forever and ever for this one. World building will not be the thing that I have to go through and weave in revisions of this book. I hope. I really hope. How are we doing in the comments section? My computer cannot apparently handle comments right now.
I had it open somewhere. Anyway.
Did Emma disappear?
Yeah, her computer restarted.
Oh. Okay. I found the
She's
comments.
texted me, no!
Poor Emma.
I'm going to say this wrong. Gildarts Winters has not read the second book because they didn't know how that felt about book one, so been reading Fablehaven instead. That series is badass. I bought the first book. I've been meaning to read it. I've heard good things.
I don't think I've heard of that yet.
We saw the author at
Yeah. He was the guy talking to Brandon Sanderson, the other Brandon.
Oh, yes. Two Brandons, I remember.
But, yeah, and after hearing him talking, I'm like, I want to read something he's written, so that would probably be.
Yeah, because he was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yars.
Kel says, I think Victoria said that if Mare had been born silver, her and Evangeline would have been best friends.
Yes! Slash
Love that
lover!
Rose just got my final writing project. Shout out to Megan or Erica for this one. I have been selected to do a short film based on The Raven
Yay!
and the murders in the Rue Morgue. I also read Red Queen and loved it.
Yay! Way to go!
Kel
actually
also
why-
convinced a friend. Go ahead.
I was going to say, that's actually why Erica isn't with us, is because she just wrapped up filming her short film this weekend. So we miss Erica, but she's doing really exciting things.
Very exciting. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah. I was like stalking all her Snapchat stuff. Like, wow, look at how fancy it is.
This is why I need to learn to Snapchat.
I was gonna say, I feel like the only person that doesn't Snapchat, but thank you, Kelly. Like, I can't figure it out. Why do you want to create content that only lasts 60 seconds and then goes away forever?
It's great because you can take really hideous-faced pictures. That's exclusively why I use Snapchat.
I can take them anywhere.
Pictures that are like,
I could always do that.
I can take them and then delete them, or take them and leave them up forever. I don't care.
I can send them to other people, though, and I trust that they won't Snapchat it or screenshot it because they, too, are sending me really hideous
send it to me, because I'll paste it all over Facebook.
So it's basically just like a mutual destruction app.
Yep.
A mutual destruction app. Like, this is Megan's sneering Snapchat.
Yeah.
Post it all over Facebook.
Yeah. I think the hip young people do lots of life updates on it. That's what, like, my little sister-in-law uses it for, and my little brother. It's like lots of really short life updates that are only up there for 24 hours.
I don't get it. I don't understand. I'm too old for this. I don't want to spend time creating content that disappears into nothing. I'm like, why did I do all this? What was the point?
It's actually something that lots of people are trying to use as a platform now that I've seen. I would not want to do it as a platform because you lose the content.
Because if you have a platform, people can't go through your platform and look at old stuff, right? Because there's nothing left.
There's always present stuff. Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. I mean, if you're Snapchatting every day, then yeah. I wouldn't.
All the hip young people use it, apparently. All the youths. All you youths out there.
All the youths.
For me, Snapchat was like that thing that made it very apparent that I'm no longer in my writing's target demographic. So.
Hey, I will do everything else. I'll do Pinterest. I'll do Twitter. I'm good for all of it. Even Instagram I like, but I tried Snapchat and I was like, not for me.
I like Instagram. It took me a while, but I really.
Same.
When I first tried it, my phone wasn't like new enough to handle it, so every time I tried to take a picture, it would take like 5 minutes, and so then I gave up on Instagram. The end.
Made me sad because I finally got the Galentine's card from you, Megan, in the mail,
good.
and I was going to take a picture and Instagram it on like Thursday. I'm like, well, she's not on it. I won't bother.
Tweet it then. Sweet her.
I was going to, and then I got distracted. So, but I finally got it. So thank you.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I was starting to wonder. I was like, I haven't heard anything from Kelly, but I never heard anything from my sister, and she got it.
Because I was like checking like every day before, because I saw like Kyra's and Aaron's, I think. Like before Valentine's, it definitely hadn't shown up, and then I stopped checking the mail for a while. So it could have been there a while earlier. But.
I think my goal next Valentine's is to buy like I guess it'll have to be specialty, but like really creepy Valentines and send them to everyone.
Yes.
Like I want people to open them and be like, what is wrong with her? It's kind of my goal. So
one year while Emma and I were roommates, I took those like really creepy Harry Potter Valentines. It's like Snape. Like people will think we're up to something, and like I like your long bottom, and I hid them all over the apartment for Emma to find. Like
I like your long bottom.
That's amazing.
Good
Best
time.
Valentine's Day ever. That's awesome. No, I found Edward Gorey Christmas cards this year, so my goal is Edward Gorey Valentine's cards next year because he does the really creepy like children being eaten by monsters type of artwork.
That's the spirit.
So, yeah.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Here's a picture of a crocodile eating a child.
My Valentine to Matt this year just said, "You suck less than other people." He got the sentiment of it.
Aww. Where's
I'm a
Emma?
romantic at heart.
She said it's taking a really, really long time to update.
Oh, it's one of those?
It's one of those, like, forced you to
Oh,
update.
No.
forced shutdown. Boo.
Freaking Windows.
Head shake of shame.
Windows.
So the book.
The book.
One of the things.
Didn't someone say there was a movie being made?
Yeah, there is a movie being
wrong?
made.
Yeah, I figured. It's too big for there not to be.
Like a real movie or like a
movie.
Like a movie, big movie. Yeah.
Victoria Aveyard, she actually got her degree in screenplay writing. And so when she went home to focus on writing a book, she wrote this book and showed it to one of her friends in the screenplay writing world and was like, "What do you think?" And he was like, "This is really good. Let me put you in touch with my friend at New Leaf Literary." And now she's now she's read by Susie Townsend, and she's not writing the screenplay for the movie, but
I think it's gonna be an awesome movie. I am gonna be real gung-ho about a Red Queen movie because I think the court politics and the treachery and the fighting, it's just gonna be a great movie. I'm super excited.
Yeah. Because I knew that she was screenplay based, I think I was noticing extra how cinematic it really is.
Yeah.
How, she even would I feel force perspective on things and stuff by mentioning the cameras and all of that. So I felt like I was constantly shifting perspective and stuff.
Cool. It's kind of cool to picture that in your mind's eye. I think it's just gonna be a really visually stunning movie, both because of the fighting with their powers and then just how elegant everyone is described. I almost pictured the Silverbloods almost kind of elf-like, sort of, just because they're supposed to be really regal and refined type of thing. But I think it's gonna be very cool visually. And because they're pale and stuff, yeah. I am excited. It's going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. And I was reading in the interview that I read today, they asked if she was writing the screenplay and if she was bummed that she wasn't. And she talked about how no, I like writing screenplays and stuff, but it would be really, really difficult to take your own work and cut out all of the things that would not work in a movie. Because you'd have to chop out so much to get a screenplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to do it. Talk about killing your babies or whatever.
Yeah.
Your darlings. Dear God, what is me?
Creepy Valentine.
Killing your darlings, not your babies. Good God.
I was just going to let you go with it.
Children. No children for you. Ever. Moving on. Emma!
She's back!
Hurrah! She's back. Frozen.
I can't see you.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you go.
Am I good?
Yes.
Yeah. Yay.
We were just talking about the Red Queen movie that's coming. We don't know when. Does anyone know when?
I don't
It's
think
just been announced. I don't think anyone knows.
It's not even in pre-production yet. I don't know.
4 years.
They've announced who's writing the screenplay, so they have hired someone on to write the screenplay.
Yeah, and I know that Elizabeth Banks is supposed to produce. Or direct.
Really?
Yeah, she's supposed to direct.
That would be
Wow.
Okay, I approve.
Oh my gosh, I'm on board for that. Well, at least it's not one of those things where they're just selling the rights over and over and you get excited and then it might not ever actually happen. Or just a pilot for a TV show and then it crashes and burns and you never hear anything again. But at least we know it's for sure. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah. The Selection would have been such a good TV show.
I know.
Really sucks that
it was perfectly tailored for TV.
It totally was. Ugh. Silly people. I wonder why it bombed. If it was just the pilot was just done badly.
They did the pilots twice, and apparently both were crap. So.
How do you screw that up?
And the guy who played Giles in Buffy was in one of the versions, and it was gonna be so great. He was the king.
Oh my gosh! What is the matter? Why did they mess that up? Someone get Joss Whedon to do it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's his kind of book, though.
Hey, if anyone could make that particularly badass, it would be him.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
So, I have a question. What did you guys think about Shade actually being alive at the end, her brother who was supposed to have died at war?
I figured it was going to happen. They talked too much about him being dead. I was like, he's going to be alive. When they talk too much about something like that, I'm like,
But you're like, not impressed.
Yeah. It just came up too often. I was like, there's a reason you're talking about this.
It's a little less foreshadowing and a little more for hitting you on the head with a hammer. Here, look at this!
I really wanted him to stay dead.
Yeah.
I feel like that
it
would
was like such a, like I figured it was coming, and then it came, and I was like, of course. And of course he also has powers.
Look, now she like hasn't had to sacrifice anything for like this awful war that she hates so much. Like she got all of her brothers back.
Yeah.
Her sister got her hand crushed, which is a pretty intense thing to do and to have to live with.
Well, especially when that was her like whole kind of career.
Yeah, but part of me assumes that now that they're like being super well taken care of, that they'll be able to get the hand fixed even.
Yeah, I can't even remember what it was like in book 2 with that. So, no spoilers. I don't remember what happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just really liked the idea that she would have like had such a personal loss and a reason to really hate Cal and Maven.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. I remember when you found out that he was alive, and then when you found out that he also had powers, I was just like, oh, of course.
Of course.
It wasn't even surprising. I was like,
not?
of course you went there.
Any more comments?
Yes, indeed. I'm just going to refresh it.
Thanks so much to everyone who's in the comments. There's a lot more than we usually get for a book club, which is awesome.
It was a really popular book.
Plus, I feel like it's been out long enough that it does, and it's been out long enough that people have actually got a chance to read it and formulate opinions.
Yeah, we tried to do that a little more with all of our book club picks for this year, and we released them all super early, so hopefully all y'all can.
And I have most of them already. Yeah, I bought most of them today. I have a giant book haul. I have no self-control.
There's so many comments. Okay, I'm drowning in comments. Where did I leave off?
Good problem.
Yeah, oh, for sure. No complaints. I don't remember what the last one I did was.
Was it by Gildart?
That was a while ago, I think. Did I already say
the one that I remember?
That the author says Maven is her favorite character to write because he's so complicated. And
nope, I haven't heard that one.
Kel agrees. Same way, she's the same way with the villain in her book. And then Kel also has a theory that his mother made him do it. I'm assuming this is Maven. He's scared of her, and she manipulated him to do what he did, and he would be better if he got away from his mom.
That's actually a really good point. That's another thing. A reason I like him so much as a villain is because it's such a complex, weird relationship between him and his mother. And that always fascinates me when there's something like that. And I actually agree that she's a huge influence and like really poisonous.
Yeah. And I thought all of his relationships were so weird. Like, he was terrible to Mare, but also he was like so desperate to not be alone that he like really wanted her there. And
yeah, and I think like his mom definitely influenced the things he did. Like, I think if he hadn't grown up around his mother ever, then he probably wouldn't be as bad as he is. But that doesn't like take away from the fact that he's still a terrible person. Because I know there are a lot of people out there who are like, oh, it's just all because of his mom, and he's going to get away from her and be good. And I'm like, no, because of her influence, he's become a terrible person. But it's, like, I don't think that she's like manipulating him or like blackmailing him into it or something like that.
Well, and it becomes really, this isn't a spoiler, because if you even read the back of Glass Sword, it becomes really obvious that his mother is not the villain of this series. It's him. It's like, so he is influenced by his mother, and he grew up under her thumb, and she's insane and evil, and it definitely influenced him. He's the main driving force behind the the antagonist. You know,
he's still definitely a bad
he's
person.
very twisted.
I almost got the vibe too that like his mom's relationship with him was similar to that like desperation that he had for Mare to like want to be his friend and be with him.
Which is
And
probably
it's
where
just,
he
like,
learned
this-
it from. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I would do
Very much so.
anything for you, and I mean anything.
Yeah.
Mhm. Or to keep you here. Like I will do anything
Yeah.
to you. Which is very
Yeah.
messed up.
All right,
Yeah.
so we've got a bit of an Evangeline debate going on in the comments. A model who reads, who's read, says, I never realized how much I wanted to ship Evangeline and Mare until now. I want to know more about her, especially what the limits of her powers are. I wasn't too impressed with everyone's powers. Some were cool, but only X-Men can be X-Men, you know? And Lauren says she would read a book about Evangeline brushing her teeth because she's so cool. But
He would do it fiercely.
It's a
Kel
next
said-
novella.
no to Evangeline. She drove her crazy. I hated her so much. In a good way, I guess, though, because she was a bad guy, so you're supposed to hate her. So there's some mixed feelings.
Mhm.
Mixed feelings are good, though. It means the
Yeah,
characters
that's what you want.
complicated.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Zaga S's. Yeah. Hi guys, I'm so happy I had the time to watch with you tonight. I live in Sweden, so your chat is set in the middle of the night for me, which sucks. You are all such great inspirations. So we're very, very glad you could join us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for coming in the middle of the night. That's
Yeah,
Yeah. I hope you don't have school or work in the morning.
Yeah.
Alright, Jody has a comment that's kind of off topic, so remind me, we will get to that one at the end.
Okay.
Kel says, if the movie becomes a thing, it would be directed by Elizabeth Banks. So
Yeah.
that is awesome. The series is very cinematic, and she can't wait to see who they cast for the characters.
That'll be interesting. For some reason, my brain's like picturing Jennifer Lawrence. She's just like the dystopian queen in my head.
I could live with
That
that.
doesn't work though. I mean, it seems too obvious to me. It would be really, really cool, but at the same time, you're like, she's the Hunger Games girl.
Yeah.
That's all that I would be thinking.
Yeah, I don't think
And
she would
she's
ever
literally
do
in
that
X-Men.
again.
So.
Yeah, that's right. That would be really strange. Plus, I don't
Someone
think
said
the
in the
physical
comments.
description. Well, I don't think the physical description of her fits
Right.
like Mare and her.
And she's also like 5 years older than she was when she started Hunger Games. So.
Yeah. Someone got in beneath that and said that Victoria Aveyard kind of like in her mind thinks that Lindsay Morgan from the 100 would make a really good mayor. So
The
I don't know who
blonde
that is, so I'm looking it up right now.
Is she Clark? I don't know their names, but I've been following that series religiously. What's that?
This is a darker skinned, darker haired person. And Clark is the blonde one,
Is
right?
she is she dressed in like kind of tribal clothes?
No, right now I googled the actual person, so she's dressed in normal clothes.
She's
I think I
wearing
know who
a
it probably
leather
is.
jacket.
I think she's probably the leader of the clans then. I think I know who that is. And
She's
was
very pretty.
good,
She's definitely wearing
Yeah.
normal clothes in the pictures I'm seeing from the 100.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
What's the name again? I have to look her up now.
Lindsay Morgan. That's cool. That was super. I don't know if I had like a particular image in my mind of how she looked. So it's like really cool to see that.
Internet, what are you doing? Oh, yeah, okay. Not at all who I thought that was, but that actually, I can see that. She's a good actress too. It's isn't she supposed to be pretty pale though? Isn't it describing her as pale in the book, or am I wrong? I was
I don't
thinking like
remember
pale
the
with like
description.
dull brown hair is kind of how I pictured her.
I have no idea.
I remember that her hair is really dark at the root, and it gets like sootier.
Yes, I do.
Oh yeah,
remember that.
right. Because it was like a descriptor of like kind of the peasants or whatever.
Yeah.
The red bloods. I remember that now.
So I do remember that.
But I swear I remember her being described as pale at some point, but I could be wrong. Are you looking for it?
I'm really curious. It's like a 400-page book. I'm not going to be able to find it.
Opposite. The silver buds are supposed to be pale, and she might be the opposite. I do not know.
And I feel like the description's probably spread out, so like you'll find one thing over here and then one thing over here.
Yeah.
Gosh, why couldn't she have just info dumped it in the first paragraph? What was she thinking?
Why couldn't she just look in a mirror and describe herself as being so unattractive with an obviously attractive description? Everyone knows that's how you do it.
I don't know. I give up. I'll get obsessed with more stuff now.
Kildart says, so now we are killing babies? I wonder if there's a fantasy series out there where that happens. Oh yeah, the giver.
I said we were changing the subject. Moving on.
Oh, the comments just keep coming. I'm so overwhelmed. Autumn, the writer, is reading One for the Murphys right now. I think I've read that. And then a model who's read. If we're talking about scandalous romantic relationships, I really like Maven. I know he's evil, but I like him more than Cal. Maven is so twisted, especially how he doesn't want to be alone, and you feel bad for him. Getting Loki vibes.
I can see Loki vibes a little.
I think my perception of him is colored from the second book. So I won't say anything, but I don't like him as much anymore.
I think he's a great character, but I definitely don't like him as a love interest. He's done terrible things to her. It's not okay.
Well, that nicely goes into Cal's question of, are you Team Maven, Team Mare, meaning Mare can choose who she wants, which seems like an obvious answer.
Yeah, I can have an opinion on who she likes and still think she should choose for herself.
Or Team Kyle. Yeah, I don't know.
The funny thing is what Megan said earlier about them all being kind of horrible people comes even more intense in book 2. So I'm kind of team no one. Like, I hate all of them right now, but I'm so fascinated that I want to know what happens in the third book, so I'm going to keep reading. But, like, by the end of the second book, I'm like, I hate all of these people. They're all horrible. And so I don't want any of them with any of them. But it's still really fascinating. I want to know what happens next, right?
I know you could never actually do it in the current YA market, but I'd love to see a series like this where she ends up with no one. She's like, you know what, I'll find someone else later when I'm older than 18. I'm okay. People would be outraged and they'd never actually do it, but I'd love to see it happen.
It would be nice.
Delirium, spoilers for Delirium. Close your ears if you don't want to hear them. But that one, she basically ends up with no one.
It would be nice if somebody in the YA world wrote about somebody that ends up on, like, content on their own. Like, and chooses to be on their own for a period of time at least, you know. Because, hey, all I need is me, and that's the lesson I've learned. But I have never seen that in a YA book.
But it would be especially make sense in this kind of story where there's so much going on that, like, you know, everyone's in love with her, but she's like, I don't have time. I'm sorry.
I'm busy. Can't you see?
Can we revisit this later?
I do have a soft spot for Cal, though.
I really liked Cal in the first book. Like, the whole time. Even before I got spoiled about Maven, I always liked Cal better. The scene, like, when they're, like, dancing, and he's, like, teaching how to dance. I love all that. It's so cute.
I hate his, like, problems with the inaction, but then at the same time, I see it as, like, a good foil to Mare, who's, like, all action all the time. Yeah. And he's got dreamy eyes, so, you know.
And it also, like, his inaction and everything, it makes a lot of sense. Like, you know, it's, like, something that he definitely, like, it needs to change for him. But it makes sense if you're, like, born into this place of, like, complete power and privilege that he's like, no, we're good the way we are, you know? Like, if everything's good for you, then it's likely that you don't see a need for change. And I think that's something that will change for him, hopefully, over the 4 books.
Now that he's not in that high place.
Yeah.
It'll probably be a really hard transition, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
This book, you guys. We've been able to make a whole hour-long chat about it. It's a big deal.
It's pretty impressive. Yeah.
Is there anyone else on comments? Because I'm refreshing, and I know there was stuff, but then I refreshed, and my new ones went away.
Let me try now. Kel said, this book gave me all the feels. A model who's rad said, Cal seems like a good guy and everything, and the scene where him and Mare were dancing at night was super cute. I just didn't believe the chemistry between them. But I am interested to see how their relationship progresses. He's like PETA. If you've read Cruel Crown, you learn more about Shade's powers, and I grew to like him better than I do in Red Queen. That's interesting. I'll have to read that.
Oh, interesting. Haven't read that yet.
Cal asked, how did you guys feel when the Silvers captured Kylorn and Farley? I was freaking out so bad that they were going to hurt him. I was just like, no, don't you dare touch him.
I don't even remember that part. I forgot about all that.
Yeah, I have no knowledge of this event.
Like, I remember what happens to... Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember what happens to Mare and Cal, like, when they have them in, like, the arena and stuff. I just don't remember anything happening to Kylorn.
So,
I remember that part.
And Farley get kidnapped when they execute the plan to assassinate all those people at that one party.
Right.
And they're caught trying to escape.
That part got more. That part where the bomb went off in the party got to me so much.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And she was like, what have I done, basically?
Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, I'm glad that someone brought
that was a really good one.
Because that was a really cool scene. And
And that's the moment where you like really hate Cal because he goes through with torturing Farley.
Well, and then bad things were done on both sides, right? Like,
yeah.
And you realize like there really is there's no good guys almost, because like they accidentally killed these children, and they're like, oh well, whoops, like sacrifices have to be made. And then the other guys are like, well, we have to torture these people now, and you're like, you all suck. None of you are good guys. Yeah, it's terrible. And then she feels bad because she was a part of it, which is like something I think that is developing her character. And then continues over book 2. So.
And I really liked that conflict between like knowing that they have to rebel in some way, but like at what point does it border on terrorism, and when do you say you're not okay with it anymore? I really found that interesting.
And then not to mention the fact that she knows like the more that she rebels and like does this Red Rising thing, the more that like the Reds are persecuted. And I'm like, that's the direct result of what they're doing. But they can't stop because otherwise nothing will change, Yeah. And that's very compelling.
Yeah. And I really like that because I feel like in a lot of dystopians where there's like a rebellion, there's not quite as much of like well, we're actually going to have to make things a lot worse.
Yeah.
Before they get better. Like usually it's like, we've rebelled. The end.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't usually show that like there are casualties on both sides and like innocents are killed on both sides, and that no one really comes out the good guy in
like
war.
the 2 little boys. Oh my gosh. There was the dignitary and they wanted to have him killed, but then she like sees him and she's like, he's a father, he has 2 little children. And then the mom kills the 2 little kids.
Yeah, exactly, which is what sends Mare into like kind of a spiral that continues with book 2. Which becomes very interesting. The character development so far through the series I'm finding really interesting.
And then Kel mentioned Lucas, the guard. His death at the end in the Bowl of Bones, and how he was killed before he and Mare could be friends again. I was definitely really upset at that. Just wanted them to be besties.
I thought it was realistic, though, that he would be angry and not be like, I forgive you because you are the center of this book. And okay.
You're the main character, so I'm okay.
Screw you. Realistic.
Alright.
Kel asked Victoria how to pronounce Killorn's name, and she said it was pronounced Killorn. And also about Tremy's, and she said it's pronounced Tremy. Tremy was one of the brothers, for those of you who have forgotten.
Oh, I'm definitely pronouncing it wrong then, because I'm like, who's that? It's just, I swear, like, my brain just, like, almost skips over those things or just, like, mumbles them in my head.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Yeah. Like, seriously, the first time I read the Harry Potter series, Hermione was just like, Every time I read it, that was how I pronounced it in my head.
That's how I was about, I'm not even going to say his name, the guy who becomes Minister of Magic in the 6th book.
Yes.
Yeah. The one that looks kind of like a shaggy lion. But it's weird. It's one of those names where when I read it in the book, like in my head, I'm somehow able to like pronounce it fine. But then I try and say it out loud, and I'm like, that's not how it sounds in my head. I don't.
These syllables don't really go together.
Yeah.
It's like any high fantasy book, especially where the names are a bit weird. I've like tried to sit down and have conversations with people that have read the same book series, and we can't because we both pronounce the names so differently. Like I have no idea who any of the people you're talking about are.
But I really like that Sarah J. Maas's books have a pronunciation guide at the end of all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. But even like her books, like Selena it's a basic name, even though it's spelled a little differently.
Yeah.
So most people get it.
Well, we've been going for about an hour. Do we have a question?
I know we had a question that you said was a bit off topic we'd get to.
Oh yeah.
I don't have comments open anymore. It was Jody. It's somewhere in the middle.
I have comments up. Okay. What is the difference if someone publishes fan fiction and a publisher publishing fan fiction? I've been thinking about that. What is being published in April with the fanfic in it? But didn't books like After and 50 Shades have to be changed from their original fan fiction in order to be published? I do plan on buying the book because one of my favorite writers has some short stories in there. And so I'm assuming she's referencing the fan fiction book that you guys have coming out.
Yeah, the Imagines book. Because it's a weird subject, and it's something that the publishers had to check with their lawyers about, and like there's been a lot of like investigation and making sure it's all cool. But basically, the idea is that because celebrities are public figures, it's interpreted as like freedom of creation, basically. So because they're public figures, basically.
Yeah, because celebrities are not copyrighted. Like Erin is not writing a story about Supernatural; she's writing a story about the actors.
Yeah, it'd be different if you actually had the franchise's stuff in it.
Yeah,
and
if you were writing a Supernatural fan fiction, it would be a whole different thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, and
I
also,
do remember
of course,
though, if you got too crazy with it, they could still get upset. 'Cause I remember Scarlett Johansson sued that guy in Germany or whatever for writing a crazy book about her.
Well, and that was also something that we were talked to about. Like everything was approved before it like went any further, because it can't be anything that spins the celebrities in a negative light, right? Or anything too weird, or anything that could be interpreted as like slander, right? So
you
have to
can't
be careful.
Like have the celebrity be a pedophile or something.
No, oh god, no.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and it's like that would never happen either, because like they're all huge fans, or the people that have written this, right? Like really dedicated fans, so they're not going to be spinning these celebrities in a negative light. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely weird and complicated, and it's the first thing of its kind, so it's exciting.
Yeah. Well, does anyone have any final thoughts on Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard?
I need to reread the movie.
It's definitely
You need
fun.
to reread it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm torn on whether I'm buying the novellas or not, to be honest. I don't usually buy novellas.
Yeah.
No.
I just never read the novellas.
I never do. I don't know why. I guess if it was Harry Potter type, like if I loved it enough, like I love Harry Potter, then I would buy everything that was extra, but
For me, it always just depends on like what the novella is about. Because like Marissa Meyer just published some novellas for the Cinder series, and one of the novellas is like the wedding of two of the main characters. So I'm like, oh yeah, I want to read that. But like, I don't really care about like the background of the world or like Shade's story. I don't really care about Shade's story. You know.
Mm-hmm.
If it's actually about my main characters, I'll probably read it.
Yeah, that's true. Main characters, yeah.
That's cool. Well, thank you so much to everyone who joined. If you haven't read Red Queen yet, even if we just spoiled everything for you, it is still worth reading.
Megan and I were both spoiled, and we still enjoyed it.
Yeah. I knew who not to trust, and I still felt betrayed when he stabbed her in the back. So definitely pick this up if you don't have it / haven't read it. Thank you so much for talking with us, those of you who did read it. And we will be back next week doing our chat on publishing world news that we were supposed to do last week, but everyone was gone, so we didn't do it. So be here next week for that. And we will see you tomorrow with someone's video. Bye.
Bye.